Welcome to University High School, home of Best Robotics. My name is Lisa Kane, and I'm one of the assistant principals. Waco ISD has two robotics teams, one here at University High School and one at Guama. Today, we're going to interview a couple of sponsors and students to talk about Best Robotics. With me today are two sponsors, Mr. Oob and Mr. Taverner. Let me start with Mr. Oob. Mr. Oob, can you tell us a little bit about what exactly is Best Robotics?
Sure. BEST is an acronym that stands for Boosting Engineering, Science, and Technology, and it's a national competition that takes place in early fall every year. It lasts 6 weeks, and it involves building a robot and other like engineering project, engineering notebook project, and a multimedia project, and a display and some marketing displays, and an oral presentation every year. And the kids, it's designed to get kids interested in engineering careers.
We have that competition here at University High School coming up in a couple of weeks. How long has it been here at University High School, and how important is that to the district that we have that competition here?
Oh, it's been great having it here. We've been having it at university since we've started, I think in 2009 or 2010. And our facility we have a beautiful facility here. So the gyms are large enough to host a large number of people, and so it's been really nice having it here every year.
Can you tell us approximately how many teams to expect at this competition coming up?
I think we have, there's a couple of teams that dropped off and a couple that came back, a couple that joined up, and I think it's 20 plus, a little over 20 this year.
So a lot of kids will be here.
A lot of kids and a lot of little small towns from around Central Texas, Hutto and Penelope, and even some middle schools. We have middle schools and high schools.
Very good. Also with us today is Mr. Taverner, another sponsor. Mr. Taverner, as a sponsor of Best Robotics, tell us about the role you play.
Okay. Basically, they brought me in to work with the media kids. And so right now I'm working with our exhibit. We have, it's a 10 by 10 exhibit built from scratch. It's going to be a really cool idea. I can't let you see it just because it's top secret. We don't want other teams looking at our stuff. But the kids are working really hard. We've also built a logo from scratch. We're building a website. And this is actually completing kind of one of our components as well, in that we have to get our team out to the public and let them know what we're doing, and it has a real community aspect to it as well. So that's kind of my role with the team.
So it sounds like there are components to it other than just students building a robot. So tell us a little bit about what some of those components are. It sounds like you mentioned a media component. Tell us more about those.
Definitely. Of course, there's the robot team. We have about 10, 15 kids working on just building. I mean, it's more than just building. They designed it from scratch. It's kind of a neat competition in that the kids are given a set of tasks that the robot has to complete. This year happens to be a farming. It's called Bet the Farm. So they have a number of farming tasks that they have to complete. So they're designing a robot specifically to complete those tasks. We have a presentation group, and they actually have to stand in front of judges and cohesively tell, as opposed to what I'm doing right now, what they've done with the robot, their design, the marketing campaign itself. So these kids will all be kids from all of the different teams. We have an exhibit team. We'll set up and it's like I said, it's a 10 by 10 structure that's going to let visitors know how we built the robot and everything that went into that, as well as market the robot itself.
Sounds like with all those components, you need a pretty good team. How many students do we have on the team this year?
A lot. There's about 35 kids. It's kind of a weird deal. They switch off every other day, so between the sponsors, there's a couple sponsors that stay on Monday, Wednesdays. There's a couple stay on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then Friday's just kind of a mishmash of who shows up. But that's one of the neat components of this, is that these kids are working a lot of times not together on the same project, yet they're all coming up with a very cohesive project, and it's really neat the way they're communicating. They're not using traditional sources that folks my age would use. They're doing a lot of texting, a lot of communication through other media that frankly, guys my age would have a problem with. But it's kind of neat. They're really coming up with a fantastic cohesive project.
Very good. So let's now talk to a few of those students who are on the Best Robotics team here at University High School. And now we're here in the shop where the Best Robotics team is working, talking to a couple of students. We'll first talk with Isabella. Isabella, tell us about the component you're in charge of.
So my component I'm in charge of is the engineering notebook. And the engineering notebook is a total of 300 points. And what it is a documentation of our process for the last 6 weeks.
How important is this notebook for the team?
The notebook is very important because it's our documentation, our designs, our details, our sketches. Everything has to be recorded, and those things get recorded in the engineering notebook.
And how did you get to be the lucky one to be in charge of this engineering notebook?
Well, thanks to my amazing engineering teacher, Mr. Cunningham. He allowed me, he was like, "You're organized, you can do it." He was like, "You're smart," and it's a privilege to do this.
Very good. Also with us in the shop is another student on the team, Gabriel. Gabriel, what component are you in charge of?
I'm in charge of the design team. And,
So that means, what do you do with the design team?
I basically build the robot with my group.
Okay. So this is maybe a prototype of your robot. Does it come like pre-cut and everything, like maybe as a kit, or do you build it from scratch? How do you get it done?
No, man, we were given wood, we were given plexiglass, we were given metal such as this. This comes as solid piece, and we had to make it into mounts like this, and then we had to bring them over here, put them on there. We really don't get anything made here. We had to make it ourselves.
Very good, very good. Isabella, tell us a little bit. I think if I understand correctly, once the robot's built, it has to follow a course at the competition. Tell us about that course.
Yes, that is correct. So this year's theme is Bet the Farm. So what we have to do is bring technology and science into the farming industry. And Texas being 80% of farmland, we have to be able to grow the rate of production and help the state as a whole. So our objective is to be able to grab certain crops, and the course is a representation of the farmland. So there's certain areas where you pick corn, there's certain areas where you get lettuce, tomatoes, and all those are in different parts of the course. So you have to really specify on what you're going to get and how you're going to get those things.
And there are some tasks that your robot has to do. What are some of those tasks?
So like I stated before, you have to get corn, you have to put the pigs up, you have to lock up the pigs, scatter the seeds, you have to be able to pick tomatoes, and these are all on different little areas, and they're real difficult, way more difficult than you think.
Sounds like it. Gabriel, another component I understand is an exhibit that you put together. Tell us about your exhibit.
Well, our exhibit is counted towards our points. It's what our robot's going to be on. It's going to show basically what we did, and they're building it right now. We can't really show you, but it's coming out good. It'll be nice that day.
Good, so it's a big secret.
Yes, ma'am, it's big.
Okay, very good. As we wrap up here today, sounds like your team needs to earn some points. So Isabella, tell us how best we can help you earn points for the University High School team.
So a big part of the points are this support that the school gets. And a lot of schools bring their bands and bring, parents, families, and it's amazing, seeing everybody but our own school. It lets us down every single year, and, we're being the ones hosting it. Everybody's like, where's your band? We want to see this awesome band that everybody talks about. We're like, well, they're busy, they couldn't make it. So a way to support us and help us out getting points is to bring all the purple you can and make sure y'all are here on Saturday, October the 19th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Is it Saturday, October 29th?
29th. Saturday, October 29th, from 10 to 2 p.m.
Okay, very good. I also hear that there are concessions available. It sounds like it's a big family event, so everybody please come out and support the University High School Best Robotics. Wear your purple, bring your family, your friends, your neighbors, your kids, make it a family event. Come support University High School as Best Robotics competes again this year right here at the University High School gym. Please continue watching Waco ISD TV for more exciting things happening in your school district.